So Talon is officially out of the VCT, but honestly, I don't care about the org leaving. I care about the wreckage they left behind. You've got a full squad of tier 1 talent suddenly hitting a free agency, and even though most rosters are already locked, we all know that the Sharks are already circling in. But out of everyone on that list, there's one name that is about to start an absolute bidding war. We need to talk about Primmie. But before all that, let's talk about Talon. If you have been paying attention, this news shouldn't surprise you anymore. This was not a sudden move. This was almost a year-long financial disaster class, probably even longer, that played out in public. The writing was on the wall. The first domino fell way back in March when Talon's CS2 division suddenly disbanded. The official spin was a strategic move, but the reality was they had just failed to qualify to any significant event. Then, I'm pretty sure you already know what happened in August. Talon's Valorant roster was fighting for a champ's spot around that time when someone publicly shamed Talon's CEO on Twitter for failing to pay a $1 million loan and its interest. Sure, they were able to pay it back eventually, but the cat was out of the bag and this was a clear sign of things to come. But if you want the funniest example of this entire disaster class, the real chef's kiss of failure, you have to look at what they did with their Dota 2 team in October. I'm not joking, this is the ultimate clown fiesta speedrun. On September 26th, Talon announced a brand new hyped up Dota 2 roster. They're bringing back big names like 23 Savage, so the gang is back together, right? But on October 3rd, just 1 week later, the entire roster disbands. They were a team for 7 days, and in that time, they managed to play in one qualifier which they immediately failed to qualify for. And then poof, gone. This proved the entire organization was broke. They weren't just failing to pay their VCT roster, they were failing to pay everyone. So no, Riot didn't just dissolve the Valorant roster, they terminated it, citing a pattern of significantly overdue payments. It's funny because I saw someone tweet about it. The org was letting go of their teams across various esports titles, and at that time I was like, oh, luckily their Valorant roster is going strong. Well, no shit, they have a promising team. If there's any roster they would want to keep, it's gotta be the Valorant one, right? But yeah, here we are now. So that's that, but what I'm more interested in is, again, the players. This team should have been in champs had they not massively thrown their stage 2 lower final game against RRQ. And the tragedy here is that this wasn't a bad roster. It was a ticking time bomb of talent that we never got to see explode. You've got the likes of Primmie, Killua, Tai, Jit Boys, and let's not forget a reliable and also dancing IGL, mind you, in Cruz. So before this news, Talon had not made any announcements, so I really thought they were keeping the squad together for the chemistry buff. Just imagine this core walking into kickoff or Masters Chile with a full year of experience under their belt while everyone else is scrambling to learn new strats. But instead of all those hype scenarios, we got this. Anyway, in a perfect world, it would be nice for the power of friendship to prevail, where the boys stick together and run it back under a new banner. Honestly, this has some parallels with the Guard, now G2, which I actually have a video about, and I'm planning to make another one soon. Anyway, the big questions are, would they be acquired as a full roster? Would the team signing them just pick a core? Or will the boys go their separate ways and call it a day? As I said, it would be really nice if this group of 5 continued to play together on a different team, but I think the likelihood of that happening would be very challenging, but more on that later. Before we get into the tier 1 sweepstakes, I am pretty sure this will be a hallmark event in the VCT, with 3 teams ascending to tier 1. And if you think about it, it's actually becoming a pattern. First, it was one team. Back then, it was Bleed Esports who failed to live up to their responsibilities. Now there are 2 of them. So what's next? Is there going to be a 3rd team dropping out? By then, we'd be down 8 teams in the partnered league with 4 open slots year after year. Well, I kinda like it because it means more chances for tier 2, but I hate it as well because what if the teams are not competitive enough for tier 1? Then we're just stuck watching Furia quality games, which would kill the ratings. But what do you guys think? So, with Talon officially gone, the biggest question in VCT Pacific is, who gets the golden ticket? Now, the first name being whispered around, the obvious choice many are saying right now, is apparently Esports. And at a glance, you can kinda see the logic. They are an established org, and they have already been in VCT Pacific. But let's not forget how they got their slot in the first place. Back then, they didn't want Ascension. They got their spot by default after Bleed Esports had their own implosion. So for it to happen again, it's only fitting that they should be the ones slotting in, right? Well, I don't think so. Think about the optics here. Riot just kicked out the league's flagship Thai organization. I'm betting that this news is sending Thai fans into an absolute frenzy right now. Do you really think Riot's first move is to pour gasoline on that fire by replacing the Thai team with an Indonesian or any other organization? Riot's own statement said their priority is finding a team that can resonate with our Thai community. So they need to replace a Thai org with another Thai org. So if Boom is the misdirection, who is the real favorite? Who is the one org that actually makes sense? Well, Full Sense. Yeah, if you put a gun to my head right now, I'd say Full Sense is the frontrunner to replace Talon, because there's no other Thai team that comes close. But there are rumblings about, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, Buriram United potentially teasing an entry. Yeah, the football giants, they have the money, they have the clout, and unlike some other orgs we know, they actually pay their bills. If they decide to drop a bag, Full Sense might just get bullied out of the conversation. And then there are the wildcards. You have the eternal hopefuls like Team Falcons, who have been trying to buy a VCT slot since the dawn of time but keep getting cock-blocked at the door. Or maybe a legacy giant like OG finally decides to stop pretending Dota 2 is the only game that exists. Whatever happens, the kickoff tournament is surely going to be interesting. Keeping the five together would be hard, but it is possible. However, whatever team acquires them will likely have leanings towards certain players they already have on their roster. But if Full Sense is the one taking the spot, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
A good problem, but it's still a problem. This team also has some highly skilled players that they surely don't want to part ways with. You've got players like Laz and Leviathan leading the way for Full Sense. I'll be honest, I'm not deep within the Thai community, but if you were the one making the decision, what would you do? Would you cut your current players and acquire the whole of Talon Esports? Or would you just pick some of the players and build a Thai super team? I'm not gonna lie, the potential of a Thai super team looks really shiny right now. And going the super team route is a really enticing, but at the same time, really hard to decide on. If it were me, of course, Primmie would be my first pick. My second pick would be Laz, to also be their second in command. Third would be Killua, Thai is my fourth, and then to complete the roster, it's a no-brainer to pick Cruz to lead the squad. And I also tried slotting in Leviathan, but with this young of a team, I decided to opt with two older players in Cruz and Laz to be the guiding hands of the team. So look, Talon is dead and the Full Sense versus Boom debate is interesting, but let's talk about the most important thing that came out of this situation. As soon as the news came out, the other Pacific GMs, or maybe even GMs from the other regions, aren't just watching this. They're probably losing their minds as we speak.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Because one of the biggest names in the entire VCT just suddenly hit the market. And this isn't just a free agent. This is Primmie. Every single team that thinks they are one piece away from winning. I'm talking RRQ, maybe even PRX. I heard Alex was dying to sign Primmie before Frost got him. That is an interesting thing to wait and see. Maybe even Envy, since they're still looking for players. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure that teams are scrambling right now. The arms race to sign Primmie is going full throttle as we speak. And whoever gets him is for sure getting a massive upgrade. But regardless of where these guys land, whether it's Team Secret, Full Sense, or some mystery org with a fat wallet, the reality is the Pacific landscape just shifted overnight. We just watched a year-long financial disaster class finally hit a brick wall, Talon is out, a new challenger is entering, and when we thought Rostermania was almost over, another spark just kept it igniting. The checkbooks are open and the panic is starting to set in. Rosters should have been locked by now, but this news just threw a grenade into the entire process. No team is safe, no roster is final, and every GM in the league is currently wondering if they should cut a player to make room for Primmie. The players aren't just looking for teams, they're about to force some very uncomfortable conversations. It's going to be messy, it's going to be chaotic, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. As always, I'll see you guys in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that sub button so you don't miss out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.